like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Hello, darling. So we are back. Oh, welcome, new subscribers. And it caught me by surprise since I wasn't actually live at the time you signed up. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Such a long staple. And you out. Bring a little dramatic color in there. We should get a lot of texture out of this one. At least that's the goal. Don't do that. Okay, we're going to want some of the red to come through, so let's just stop right there a minute. Yeah. I'm just so glad to be done with this one. So I'm doing all of this stuff, all the red now. I kind of need you on the other side there. It's hard to do two things at once when one of them is chatting or text. So I decided to indulge in a cup of coffee today. This does not happen a lot, but I had a cup yesterday with my lunch and it just did me good. And today I got the, let's try coffee again. Of course, I had to eat a certain meal first, which I did. So I'm going to enjoy this because it takes 12 hours to get rid of caffeine when you're my age. So good. Yeah, I think I'd call this chunky. Chunky wool. Short hair variety of sheep. Hmm. We have rain, which I love. I was born on a day like today. How are we doing here? Good. Oop, oop. Don't go too crazy. Get that. Okay, now. Oh, it's like a veil. Get that. Now, If you're wondering where this wool came from, originally New Zealand, but my source was a place called Driftwood Yarns in a place called Groton, Connecticut. Absolutely lovely store owner and an amazing selection of yarns. So if you knit or crochet, I believe they have an online store. I'm not positive because I needed to go in person to get stuff like this because not everybody is looking for the fibers, which most people might buy for turning into their own yarn, which I'm not doing. What I love about these vessels is that you can turn them inside out and have a whole new vessel. A whole different look, same vessel. But I've got extra texture added to one side. Behave yourself. Stay there. I think we got it. Side one. I decided against the neon orange this time. This is the gentlest art I know, other than making sand paintings in the sand that wash away with the tide. But this leaves permanent designs. Okay, I think we're safe for liftoff, as it were. And and we draw the hands. Look at that for now. Thank you. Okay, actually, this is not too bad. I'd rather not lift that, but oh, we got it. Good, good, good. Okay. Everything stayed. Okay, now we're going to end up with some cool texture. There it is, a fabric before your very eye. Okay, let's take a little of this excess water up. I'm going to be putting plots more down in a minute. These are so handy. Stay down. Gotta move that out since it's not going to show right there. Oh, but we can do this. That's better. Didn't think about going over it, under it. Silly me. Let's focus on the texture. Hello, here too. Oh, I hope it brings you rain. We have thunderstorms coming, so we got some rain right now. Aloha. So, is your 2-year-old asleep? Terrible twos. Now you know what they mean. Maybe a little more pumpkin. Oh, come on. Slim, I was like sweeping something under the carpet. Which reminds me, sweeping is one of my chores for later. But I needed to sit down, and what better excuse to come back to the table? Also, I have to finish yesterday's beautiful little purse. I have to turn it into the actual purse now by doing the finishing part of the trimming here and creating a flap. But I'm so, oh, it feels so nice. So I'm really liking this, getting the folds in there. And instead of having to iron them to stay, they're like fused together to stay. Just preferable. Okay, so now we put some more of this stuff on. He's up again. Oh, that's what they call catnaps. You could sleep on your cat's schedule, you'd be very well rested. Aren't you glad you didn't have to go through the bottle feeding and diaper stage with him? Could you imagine if that little attitude had been a human? Oh my God. You'd be getting responses from potential babysitters. No, thank you. I heard about your kid. Don't need the headache. Well, that's interesting. Well, Maui, don't you try to phrase things in ways that people can hear them whenever possible? You come to them, not at them, as a peaceful nature would do. I mean, I've had to confront like management stuff, but gently, it's like, this is, but clear. It's like, these are the facts. I know the facts. Let's go from there. You don't want to be antagonistic with anybody you need to work with, especially if they're basically out there to protect your garden and your life. Well, it doesn't sound like it's in a bad way. the pilot is always right. It's us being the autopilot that screws things up. We're getting better. We're getting better at hearing our greater self. Things are improving slowly, as is human nature, but still improving. Hard to believe when you look at news, so don't look at news today. Except for the weather. You should always be aware of the weather. From multiple sources would be a good idea. They don't all get their information from the same group anymore. Well, I got some stuff done today. Finally got my pad delivered. It's charging right now, so I can start to get familiar with it. I ordered the glass cover for it and an additional bouncy case for protection. And it's no bigger than my Kindle, actually, or barely. So a really comfortable size I'm used to working with. But oh my God, what a sleek design. I have to say I am impressed so far. And I've just plugged it in. Everything is so nice and compact the way it clicks together. The keyboard covers it. There's another cover that goes on magnetically to protect that, and the cameras, and a place where you charge and hold on to your pen. It's like, you know, I haven't used one of those pens in, oh my God, years, a decade at least. I've gotten really used to using my finger and swiping, gotten very comfortable with that style. But we're going to be exploring different ways for me to do my writing, including speech to text. So if I start to sound more and more like an English teacher, it's the need to enunciate correctly for the sake of the computer's translation. I'm already getting practice with Google searches because, boy, it can be deaf. Maybe you should stop bitching. It's not being heard. It's not going to the right people. And just complaining is only going to bring you crap eventually. If you can't write it down to submit to someone for an answer or a cure, don't waste your energy. Despite yourself, you are attracting positive. And why are you working too hard again after you just recovered from a jellyback? God, men. There's got to be somebody come out and just hose you down and say, get out of the garden. You haven't taken a break today. You haven't had enough water and electrolytes. Stop trying to pretend you're 21. Ain't fooling nobody. Oh, I don't want too much of that hanging over the edges. Go back. There you go. That's the one you should complain to. If you can't go to the source, and complain to someone who's paid to listen. That's what they're for. What you can't change about life or other people, you go whine about to the person who's willing to listen to anything you say and will always be on your side. And if they're good, they'll point out when you're being, head up ass and blind. If they're good, they will point this out. Shitty ones will just let you go on and on forever. See, I've had lots of different therapists because shit started early for me. And everything from the school psychiatrist to ones my dad took me to, which I was grateful for, and then ones I sought after I was on my own. There's all kinds, I'll tell you what, the first thing I noticed, every time you started with a new one, you had to start all over with your story. I got so sick of telling my story. I mean, really, just like, we're going to spend the first 3 visits just catch up. And so you know where I'm coming from and what I want to work on. And all of that, it helped somewhat. But then I got into this support group after being extremely group resistant, because I tried that a few times and found it to be like, this is more like people just want to sit around and bitch about their problems, but I don't hear any solutions coming up, and that's not going to help me. I need solutions. I want my life to be better and happier and healthier, not lost in the freaking past. And this group, there were 12 of us, and we had all suffered the same basic indignities and all that on our bodies and minds. But being in that group where we all were different places and different ages and different numbers of times, and it was like, the problem is that when you get certain kinds of events in your life, you have a lot of the same reactions that later on in life. You don't even realize they're connected. That's why we go and get help. This group was so well done, so much research in how to deal with this stuff, that we actually made progress. And I saw a private doctor on the side. She was the one that got me in the group and said, if you don't go to the group, I'm not going to see you in private. And it's like, no, no, we've come too far. I don't want to go backward. I'll stay with you. I'll do whatever you say. Okay, I'll go to the damn group. But I said the group was a specialty group specifically for, it was open to men and women, but in our group, it just turned out we ended up with all girls, all the women. It was a real important step. And together, I made more progress in 2 years there than all the other, counselors and shrinks combined. I was impressed with, and this life started getting way better. I stopped being bothered by a lot of different things that I don't even think about anymore to recall to say what I got better at. It's like so far past now. It's like, yeah, that's how it should be. Once you have gone through, well, we used to do one of these things called a grieving process. And a grieving process, we all do it, usually unintentionally at first. It's exhausting. Something comes up to your consciousness, a memory from the past that was painful, that you had to survive, so you just kept going. And you didn't think about it. You learned how to put it outside your mind and not feel sorry for yourself and all that. And then years later, you think about it and suddenly you start crying and you realize, oh my God, I was really hurt, or nobody rescued me, or they did this to me. I was just a kid. Blah, blah, blah. It could be anything. The point is that you reach that point where you can finally grieve for what you suffered. That is a huge accomplishment, being able to cry for yourself. That's when the healing of that event actually really begins. You let it go that way. And you usually go through like a whole bunch of head stuff, which is why you want a counselor around when you're going through that, or a group that knows what it's like to go through that. It takes about 3 to 5 days average per grievance. And you get all cried out, you're exhausted, but then at the end, it's like, you're so much lighter. Something big that had a domino effect that you didn't even recognize because it's so underlying just your daily life's events. You don't think about it. It's not conscious stuff. But you react in a certain way because of those things that happens, and you feel certain ways because of those things that happen. And then when you heal one of them that's really significant, it's just like you heal a whole bunch at the same time, and you just feel, well, you stop thinking about those things anymore. They don't come up anymore because the wound is finally healed instead of just covered up. So yeah, it's not a fun process, but the relief is so significant and so permanent. I mean, once you do it, once you grieve something, it's really, you let it go for good, for real. So, growth and all that. But it takes something to get there in the first place. It's not, sometimes it happens spontaneously where you just were sitting there remembering something and burst into tears. That's what you want to talk to your shrink about. And they'll help you dissect it, and help you talk about it, get it all out there. And then, like I said, lo and behold, it's just over. It's gone. You're not tortured by it ever again. Okay, we need you to, oh no, that's the wrong way. Well, can't pick you up yet. I want to flip it over. Come, let us flip. Excuse me. There we go. Flop. Flip, flop. Bring those edges up. Now this is going to shrink quite a bit because the outside layers are that really super fine merino, but the inside, the red, is that super chunky, not suitable for next to your skin stuff. That super chunk as it shrinks is going to really help pull the very fine fibers together. It's going to be beautiful and very textured, which is what we're looking for. Okay, now let's, I'll just get that other one. It's easier. Okay, sometimes I throw now, think later. Back. Now, because the merino is so fine, we're using the flat side of the plastic instead of the bubble. The bubble side is like having a bunch of little fingers poking at it, and it can be a little rough on this very fine wool. Now watch what happens. You go to your therapist, start whining about the same stuff that nobody would listen to you about. And then he comes across and says, you know, you have a much better attitude than when we first started together. Then you're really going to have to go, okay, what did I say? Is it my face? Am I glowing? Oh, cool. This is going to be some really cool puckery texture here. That's what I want. Gotta be careful. Apparently this just wants to knit. So we're going to switch to plastic. Oh my goodness, it really knitted a lot. Astonishing. It didn't seem like it. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Oh yeah, there it was trying to, look at that, it really knitted right through this. Oh my goodness. Well, now we know we can definitely use that on this and make a scarf. Okay. Let's get the plastic back and get this out of the way. One of these days I will do my nails. For a second I thought I cut myself, but it was just a piece of silk. Actually, it's kind of like working a pie crust, except I'm not using the rolling pin for some reason. I'm kind of obligated by the design I made to cut a hole in the center. But I am tempted to do one at the top and make it a taller vessel. But then again, the way I did the colors, I guess I better stick to plan. We don't need you now. He probably does. Get him started. While they want to please themselves, they also have a thing wanting to please their buddies. Like if you were another cat or a mouse. Okay, we got a bunch of the excess water up. Colors will lighten up when they're dry. Well, it's always been this way, Maui. It's just that humans are finally noticing more. Oh, we have some raindrops. Doesn't look like a thunderstorm. I want to see the clouds. I have a weather-wise. It's got a tornado symbol. Oh, okay. Well, that's why it's raining. Big green clouds all over us. Yep. I guess they were right this time. We are getting thunderstorms. They said likely to continue, so I guess somewhere it's been thundering and I just haven't been able to hear it. But I am still enjoying this cup of coffee. And that's gonna make some cool texture. What I've got right here. Maybe I should put the hole right there. So hard to decide. I should have taken a picture of it before I forgot which side was up. Well, I'm pretty sure this is the bottom with the darker colors. No rain yet. Oh, what are they predicting for you? Are they saying definite rain or just threatening rain? This technique is strangely enough called palming. And you rub it between your palms. It helps you finish off edges and help develop texture. Smooth things out too. Go long enough, it'll create texture. We're starting to get some shrinkage finally. Start to see it kind of wrinkling up, shrinking on top of the plastic insert. Or resist, they call it. All right. 40, but no. Oh. I forget it's still morning for you, isn't it? Yeah, it is. You're 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours. It would take me 6 hours just to get 6 hours of flight to get to where it would be 6 hours of flight to see you. So 12 hours of flight to get to your place. All right, dare I get rough with this now? Yes. Yes, yes, I will. We can use the little one. Too slippery to pick up my coffee. And I must finish it because otherwise it's going to drag my night further and further away from sleep. Yeah, this stuff just soaks up the water. Like, bam, you're felted. Yeah. It's a little rough, but it's also helping the red break through a bit, and I want the red to show. Well, we are definitely covered by, like, the radar says we've got a big green blob all over us, but um, I can't see it. I can't see the rain. Well, if you accept the reality of what you are a Superman, but you keep looking in the mirror and being reminded of your human side. You know what I mean? When you remove the limitations, so does the universe. But we are creatures of habit, and we have limited ourselves because of that. And I speak from experience, me too. It's hard to overcome your conditioning, even though we're always better for it. Well, because if you're feeling good, you're plugged in. That's the whole idea, to feel good, right? So if you're thinking positive thoughts and you're feeling that, then what are you doing? You're elevating your vibration. When you elevate your vibration, you're in the vortex. When you're in the vortex, everything that you want comes to you. It's just people just keep limiting themselves about that stuff. That's hilarious. Well, you definitely have an effect on the game if you can do that. The game loves you, and you the game. So okay, it's starting to feel very dense. All right. I am going to cut. Yes, and that is pretty much it. But they don't know what that means, Maui. Oh God, please don't tell me I went all the way through. No. Oh. There it is. The first cut is the scariest. You only half believe it yourself. You see on the proof of the pudding right there in your face, but some part of you just wants to doubt it. That's the fear of taking your own power, because you've been trained not to. Isn't it funny? People want power, but they ignore what the real power is because they think money is power. And it does buy obvious control over certain kinds of things. But that is not where the power comes from. As far as the cat's diet is concerned, if he's not gaining weight, that puts him in an unhealthy bracket, then let him eat till he's satisfied. But if he's eating because he's bored and he's getting fat, you're going to have to start putting out a limited amount of food because you don't want him to die an early death. Your cat does not look obese to me. Hi. I don't think you have anything to worry about, Maui, at this point. He looks good to me. And you take him to the vet. If there was a problem, the vet would say something. So how are you? Our family person? All right. It's time for the test. Okay, that was the resist. This is how much it shrunk and also stretched, because the way I was massaging it. I'm good. We have a rainy day here, and I love the rainy days. Okay, this is called felling, and it's part of the actual process. You got to get a little... Some people don't seem to know why you do it, but to me it looks like it's helping loosen some of the fibers. At the same time, it makes them grab onto each other better. All right, so now we're going to turn it inside out and see if the design came out the way I intended. Or I'll be picking pieces off it. All right. This is what I wanted. Yay. Okay, now, right now you can't really tell what it's going to look like full because I got to stuff it. But I'm not going to be stuffing it until after I have washed all the soap out and soaked it with some vinegar, which will bring the colors and everything right back to where they were before I added all the soap. The soap makes everything duller. Okay. And it's going to further shrink and get crinkly, which is exactly what we want. So it's going to be a cool looking little vessel tomorrow. I'm saying tomorrow because I don't want to get up and do this right this minute. I guess I do have to get up at least to change my towel to a dry one, because we're going to make another thing. We're going to start it anyway. What time is it? Yeah, we're going to start it. I am in the process of making gifts for people who live in this building. We're going to work on healing that and shaping it the way we want after it's been finished in the sink. But we got the basic pattern. I wanted some swirls on the bottom. They took pretty well. We'll see what happens with that. That might come loose. I'm not sure. I put it on kind of thick. But right now it looks pretty good. So we'll see. And I got all this crinkling the way I folded all of the fabric under. So this is going to make the bottom of the vessel really cool looking. Oh, good. You needed some rain, right? Doc is waiting for rain. It's not a huge chance for him at the moment. Okay, we'll just put that over there for a minute. Now, let's just go ahead and do this for the moment. I really am happy with the way this came out yesterday, but I need to make sure that we do this correctly now so I don't botch it at the end. Okay. Come on now. We're gonna do this very gently. So all we're going to do is iron that flat, and then we've got our inside flap. Back up there. Oh, I so like that. And we just need to fix that. So, did you make a nice day today? I know it's the end of your day, isn't it? You're getting close to it, if not the end of your day. Maybe I should make the flap a little longer. I think so. Try that. That's better. All right, we just have to heal the edges. And then we will have to do the soapy bit again, and then the washing the soap out again, but we can do that when we do this. So okay, you just heal the edges by getting them wet. But the edges are raw after you cut them, and you can see all the different layers, and you don't want to see all the different layers. It's unprofessional, unfinished, raw. And why would you bring the dead back? They don't want any connection with their old self. That's kind of morbid, actually. Talk to your therapist about that idea. They know you better in that direction, and they can help you. Personally, I don't think that's a good idea. If you have mixed feelings, especially, you should not go there. You're living in the past. That has no good indications for your future. Well, it's a show on YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook, for people who knew her, like a tribute. That's nice. It might creep some people out, but I would bring that to the therapist before you put it in the public. I find a lot of that stuff kind of creepy, I guess, because, oh, look, my father came back and talked to me. He did not look the same way. But if somebody went to animate him as if he was giving me a message in Today or something, I would feel kind of, well, it's too limited because you're looking at the lens, or looking at the person through the lens of the human, and they're not encased in that human anymore. They don't, once we drop our persona, the mask that we're wearing, we're not interested in dragging it around with us. That's why it doesn't matter what you were in a past life. It has no bearing on what you are in this life or what you're going to be in a future life. They're not connected like people want to keep trying to make those dots go together, but they don't. So, I mean, if this is a person that people have said things like, I wish I could have one more conversation with that person. I don't know. It's a very individual thing. Like I said, to me, it's reducing them to way less than what they were in real life. I mean, I know they're doing it with famous people and all. I'm not comfortable with that either. But that's me. All right. You have to go by whatever your inner guidance suggests, but I still would recommend that you speak to your therapist about that idea first, because of your mixed feelings, not because of the idea. But I can see why the person would be in your mind, and every February 7th, that was a very significant day in past history. Day my father crossed, day I left home involuntarily. So when that day comes up, yeah, it started to carry emotional weight, and so other things happen, like my cat Manushka. He was born on February, I don't know, it was the day before, day after, 6th or 8th. It just seemed like a lot of things start happening around that particular day. Not because the energy was set up that way, but because I was paying attention to it and I created that energy. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, go by how you feel inside. That's all you can do. We are making progress. Let me move this. Let's get the dry towel. Boy, that one is really wet. Now, it's funny, like, almost all of my friends in this building, anyway, matter of fact, a lot of them that don't even live here, their favorite colors are purples, lavenders, the blues that go with the purples and lavenders. Like, that's interesting. Every single woman at this table wants something done in purples. And I do have some old friends And a long list of people that I know who are really into purples now, which to me is really interesting because of the symbolism of the different colors, the vibrational levels of the different colors. Purple is, the color of the third eye. It's a spiritual color. People talk about things like violet flames and such. There's all kinds of connections with that spiritual level, which is basically a higher vibration. And when I talk about higher vibrations, that's not a judgment on what is good as a vibration. That kind of thing depends on what you are trying to accomplish, whether something is good or not. Okay, and now it's time to find yes, we got these, another wallet size too small. Oh yeah, too wrong. I don't know why am I keeping this. Is there anything here I can use? Oh, I guess it's circle. Okay, why don't we just take that? Make life easier for myself right now. I really like this material for well, what I'm just talking about, making resists, but that's too small a piece. I can't use it. And no, I don't know if I want to keep that, but I guess I am. No, definitely no, and a no. And so looks like I have to drag this stuff out and cut a new resist because somehow I managed to misplace the one I already made that last wallet with. Did I tear that up? No. That's a nice plastic. Talking to myself. Oh, that's not the okay, what was that? Okay. The time has come to get another piece of plastic. And I'm going to have to cut it from the big roll. I think this one has been compromised. Okay, well, I think I'm going to have to get a ruler, excuse me, and use that. Okay, everybody just stay calm. Thank you. Oops. right, we don't want to go too crazy. Yeah, all right. I think that'll be all right. I'm gonna have to round the edges. That's gonna make it a little shorter anyway. Okay, don't go spinning off on your own. Stay the course. Take an anchor, it cuts like butter. Okay. That's not good right there. Wish I could do this on my paper cutter. It doesn't like it though. All right, time to choose the decorations. I'm just going to choose today. I am going to take a break. It's time to get on. That'd be very sophisticated, I think. Now that is a Corriedale for sure. That'll go nicely for the center. This externally, we're gonna go with absolutely gorgeous merino and more merino. Yes. Now, I don't know why the black is in here. It's definitely black. That is not dark purple or blue. Well, at least I know I don't have to order any black wool right now. Because yes, sir, we are 3 bags full. Okay, so these will be the 3 yarns or wools. I'm going to use this for the center, just to give a little bit more body. I don't have enough of this awesome stuff left. But we have this. I think we'll go with silk. What we have here. Get that out. I really wish I had more viscose in different colors. Give my ideas. Mm-mm. 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 Mm-hmm. Ooh. Oh yes, I like that. It's gonna take some work. Do we have any more? Oh. Oh, that's interesting. But no. Nope. God only knows what happened to this in a former life before it became a jumble. That they could just sell by the ounce because it's so jumbled. Somebody must have gotten savage in their store. Let me have it. I want that part of it. And that. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Nope. Good. Stay there. Look at that peacock. The blue, green, gold. These colors are just absolutely gorgeous. Can't use them for that, but all right. I think we can stuff this back in the baggie. Okay. Oh, I think we now have the choices for this next wallet. Looks like it's time for me to make up a wish list on Etsy. Okay, so this is not going to be showing very much. It's just going to be what peeks through. There's really fine stuff. What do you see now? Oh! Oh, did you like it? I'm not a juice person, so, but a juicer is good because you get the fiber, because you do the whole fruit, so it's healthy. I'm just not much into drinking stuff like that, I guess. But I totally understand. I did go out and, I don't know what the name of the company is. They just do juices, like, you know, the big. And when I was in Pennsylvania, I used to go to one once a summer to get a watermelon strawberry, I think it was. Oh, it was so good. This might not be big enough. No, just barely. Like really just barely. We're gonna have to use different, larger, more pain in the ass. But it'll work. Yeah, we're definitely stuck using that larger one. Okay. Oh, could be worse. So that's the seam. Oh, wait. Merino wool. Nope. Need a different one. Here we go. We need the smooth side to start. It's so funny. Huh. Guess if you like a smooth side, but it is. I will not want a lap full of water when this spills over the edges. Okay, so the initial setup, we're going to use this, and we're going to use this. And wait a second. Oh no, I lost it already. Oh, I wanted this, and gold. That's right. Okay, I've got to pull some of this gold out. Thing is, I have been on here for almost 2 hours, and I need a station break. If you know what I mean. Also, I want to get a little container to pile some of this in, because I don't want it disappearing in the breeze, which, you know, when you're dealing with silk, that's all it takes is a little breeze and your supplies go across the room like a dust bunny. Oh, pineapples. I didn't think about the pineapples. I do love fresh pineapple. Yes, coffee in, coffee out, you know. I will put the song on, a song on, but it's going to be only for 2 minutes and I'm going to be gone for 3.5 minutes. So I'm going to say, station break, 4 minutes. So I'm going to turn the mic off, put the song on. We're just going to sing one that we use in the morning, okay? Make it easy. It's already on my desktop. I'll be back in just a few.
I woke up feeling like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Ooh, will you be tomorrow?
Okay, darlings, we are back. And now I can move that out of my way a little more. Okay, jar. A jar will be the good place for this. I just want the gold because I have a design in mind for my friend. Okay. This is a no good. Good for something else. Where's the something else jar? Ah, there. That's for the future bookmark collection. Nondescript fuzzy. Be nice if I could just buy the gold by itself. I do have a gold fiber, but it's not actual fiber. It definitely felts weirdly, which is kind of cool on its own. So maybe I'll include that. No, not for this. This is not a vessel. It's good in vessels. I wouldn't use it in a purse. And this is going to be a purse. Oh, interesting. It's gold wrapped around a thread, different thread. I guess we can expect that. There's our red thread. Must go. Definitely on a red thread. I think we can get away with it. Kind of goes with the purple. Almost there. Yep. What are you doing there? Oh, I think that was lightning. It was. Well, you're sharing bandwidth. However, that's not unusual for me. I've got my phone going, it's on the charger or I'm using it. And up until now, my Kindle, but it will be replaced by the Lenovo, which just reminds me, I'm going to drag out my password for the network. Setting up a new device is such a pain in the butt. Even though once I get the basics done, I'll be able to just like import all the stuff I need to know right now. It's raining here for sure. When in the other room, I was able to look out the window and long enough to focus. It's like, yep, raining. A good rain, too. Glad I didn't overwater my plants last night. Or yesterday afternoon. I wanted people to be just a little less helpful in the garden with my plants because I chose them so they would not need so much care. And ones that would overwinter, etc. But we've got people who make assumptions and they're not judging properly. You know what I mean? It's like they perceive a little bit of wilt as the plant dying. It's like, no, at this time of day, it should be a little wilted, but if check the soil, it's got to be dry 2 inches down or don't water. But they don't do that. And so I just like, I'll take care of mine. It's okay. Well, if the darkness becomes a storm, your stuff will be charged and ready to go. In case you lose power, you'll still have some. Is that cat entertainment app downloaded, or does it have to access the internet each time? This is tedious. If I wasn't having a conversation, I would not be bothering to be doing this live. We're trying to find a new home for one of our friends because she's going to have to go into a home, an assisted living place, and she won't be able to bring her cat. She and her cat have been together for the last 10 years. It's definitely a one-person cat. And she doesn't want to have her put to sleep, obviously. So we're trying to find someone who can take on a senior cat for a senior. So at least her heart can rest easy about that. Like, what happens to your baby when you can't be there for them? We have to have contingency plans. I was so lucky when I lived down the farm because my vet was 7 miles right down the road. End of my road, turn left, and the vet was like a hop, skip, and a jump. And she knew where we were because she passed by our place on her way home to her farm. So she would definitely would have if she needed to rescue our babies, rehome them. She and her fellow vets shut down a couple of puppy mills and were able to save the majority of the dogs that they rescued. Some were in such bad shape, so crippled from living their entire lives in wire cages, that they had to be euthanized. Now, I'm not saying that there may have been a way to save them, but when they're that bad, the rehab, it's hard to find anybody who can afford to do that kind of rehab with them or spend that kind of time when you're rescuing like 600 animals. You've got a lot of stuff. Well, I would hope that there is another reason that you would want to stay alive. But yes, responsibility and love for something is definitely a good reason to stick around. Excuse me a second. Okay. My chemo is delivered. They're in search of other reasons. Ah. It's kind of a moment-to-moment thing, Maui. Are you enjoying the moment? If you are busy looking for ways to enjoy the moment, you're on the right track. You're only going to have this one timeline event one time. We don't come back to the same timeline. So whatever is in your environment, it's literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to explore it for what it's worth. You got to decide what you want to explore, what you want to try before you croak. What is new? If you're not rehashing the past, what do you want to see happen in the future? You can't assume the future by the past. In fact, that's the worst thing to do. It catches you in a circle you can't get out of. Those are two good things. They both bring you joy. They keep you grounded because they both need care. They both need your personal attention. They both rely on you to survive. So, yeah. I've heard some people say the only reason they were sticking around was for their children. Something beyond ourselves. I mean, don't you think you're worthy of having a good time? Worthy of experiencing joy? You know, they don't have to go together hand in hand, Maui. It's just that people are used to thinking they have to suffer in order to be worthy of the joy. That's the big mistake. That's what religion does to people. Makes you think you've got to earn your way with God's good wishes for you, or good miracles, or all of that. It's like you have to be worthy of it. You were born worthy. But people keep going, oh no, I can't. It's too easy if it happens that way. Well, it's supposed to be easy. People complicate it. Again, make them feel worthy of how easy it is. Instead, they've got to make it difficult. And it's true, like as humans, we do love some of the struggle. I was talking about that with someone yesterday. In terms like, seriously, when I was kayaking and a storm came up kind of suddenly while we were out there. And the water was at first extremely calm. And we were enjoying the calm waters, of course. That's why we were out there in our kayaks. It's not like we wanted to be on the ocean or anything. But the wind got up to 15 miles an hour, and suddenly, even though we weren't far from shore, shore became further away. The waves started getting choppy. Our kayaks started pitching. And we're like, holy shit, we've never had to fight to keep our kayaks from sinking. And we succeeded. But it was a struggle. It was a fight. But that reminds me of an African proverb about smooth seas do not skillful sailors make. You don't learn how to navigate life or the water by sitting on the shore. You have to be out there and experience some wind. And then you go, but then you feel really good when you manage to do a good job of keeping yourself afloat. It also makes you less afraid of getting in that situation again. It's like, okay, I don't want to be in this situation, but if it arises like this one did rather suddenly, I'm not going to panic. I know what to do now. Or I know better what to do. You desire happiness, it comes from inside. But if you want to have experiences that add to your happiness, you have to stretch a little. You can't be paranoid that everything that you try is going to backfire or attract the wrong energy, because that is exactly how you attract the wrong energy. Go boldly into the world. You're part of it. You belong here. You're creating it. But you only have this time frame for this particular manifestation as you. You're only going to be Maui once, ever. The core of what you are, like the core of what I am, well, we're eternal. But these bodies, these minds, the hands, what we've got to work with, it's like getting thrown into a game that you agreed to play. I keep to myself up to a point. I do get involved because I'm in a community that I want to support. So I have a different approach. I recognize bad players or assholes. So my involvement with them is extremely manageable. I just avoid them. If they get in my face for any reason, well, actually they don't. I just don't attract that kind of energy anymore. I still see them here and there, my peripheral vision kind of a thing. I don't attract them to the point that I have to deal with them anymore. It's like, so I don't worry about other people interfering or bringing any kind of crazy into my life. I spot them a mile away. In fact, yesterday, the day before, I forget now, there's a woman in this building who definitely has to stay on her meds, if you know what I mean. And she has been the reason police have had to come here a few times just for her going on these screaming fits to people on her floor or whatever, and then they have to calm her down, etc. So yeah, we got our handful of people in this building that can be very problematic or disruptive when they want to be. But strangely enough, when she got moved around, it wasn't to my floor, even though there was a vacancy on my floor. And when she sees me now, because our energy is so opposite, she knows to just don't come near me. I mean, it's just, I don't have to say anything. I don't try to do anything. I don't make faces or give anybody the finger. I just try to hold on to what feels good in my life at the moment. And that just makes me less prone to bumping into those kinds of personalities. So when you're more focused on what makes you feel good, you'll be less focused on what makes you concerned with the world. And it just won't happen. You won't have to worry about keeping to yourself so you don't bump into trouble. You're just not going to invite it no matter where you're at. It's like people saw you in a whole different light this week. They saw you as the calm, positive, peacemaker kind of a person while you were whining to them, and they didn't recognize your whining. That's how high your vibe was at the moment, which is freaking hilarious. Because that is the vibe you want. But you were really just trying to find somebody sympathetic to how you felt so they could reflect how you felt. So hasn't anybody been complaining and writing, like anonymously leave something in the office? You're letting this place turn into a dump. It smells like trash. Roaches are crawling everywhere in her apartment. They don't stay there, they have legs. That puts you at risk. That's disgusting, Maui. I'm sorry that you have to experience that. But now there's momentum built up there. It's expected now because she's a filthy, mentally disturbed person. She's probably not really filthy. She's just mentally disturbed, and people like that ignore the stuff around them. We went all the way to the laundry room. That's pathetic. I can't believe people aren't complaining like every freaking day. Do something about this. When we had somebody like that, the person's still here, but when they got like that, they finally did something. The rule was you couldn't go into the apartments, but it's like, nope, if we need to make a change or do repair, and you're not home, we'll just leave you a note saying we were here. I don't know why they're not acting. It's not like she's going to sue them for invading her privacy and killing all the roaches. Calling in a cleaning crew. Surely there's some kind of senior something. They can say, hey, we got a senior here who is definitely not able to take care of herself, and she's living in disgusting, unhealthy, unsanitary conditions. Oh, that one? Yeah, I'm sure she has multiple times. I can't imagine it just being her, though. Haven't you complained? I mean, that's right across from the hall. You don't want roaches in your apartment. They go through sewer pipes. They walk in shit. It's not that they themselves are dirty critters. You could raise them as pets and they'd be extremely clean. But the wild ones go through sewers and take their little footprints with them. Oh, a big time Karen. Must be a maggot, too. Now that's Mrs. Kravitz. Probably has binoculars and a parabolic hearing mechanism. Since you can buy all that spy shit on Amazon. That'd be fun if you had one. You could listen in on them. You become Mrs. Kravitz. Wouldn't that turnaround be funny? I wouldn't spend the money on it, but I think that'd be funny. Like you suddenly know more about what's going on than they thought because you've been listening to what they've been talking about. All right. I think we've got enough gold. Wait a second, there's something else in there. A poof of another color we don't need. That's wool. Okay, we got a handful of gold. That's going to be helping to decorate. We've got this beautiful soft green. And this goes into the future bookmarks. Okay, we are ready for tomorrow. Oh wait, tomorrow is movie time with Michael. So I might not be here tomorrow. I better not get this wet today. She's in denial. She's in more than denial because she doesn't want to nurse. She is letting the whole place get overrun and disgusting. She's become blind to a very unhealthy, unsanitary, that word is important, unsanitary situation. But the problem is, like I said, they don't stay in her apartment. They walk. They've got little feet. They keep going. They go under doors. They can go flat. Ugh. Oh, yeah, I understand completely. See, I know who those kinds of people are in my building. And I said the worst of them, the one who loves to watch everybody and rat them out if they're any kind of infraction at all. He's always trying to get people in trouble. I tore him a new asshole last November. So he hasn't bothered me ever since. Also, like I said, the vibe. You got to have the right vibe. I'm not looking for him. I'm not looking for trouble. I go around being my peaceful self 98.2% of the time. the other percentages, I'm usually doing something on behalf of the people here. So, you know. All right, so we got plenty of this. We got the green, we got the gold, we got the aquamarine, and this gorgeous pile of purples. So we'll be back, if not tomorrow morning, then Thursday? Yes, Thursday. Except for my Tai Chi time, and I'm gone for Tai Chi. So y'all have a great rest of the day. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, New York time, which is my time. Aloha! Until next time.